guess who's back?
Personally, I haven't been a fan of the bubble ever since Lou Williams got in trouble for getting some wings.
Stop it.
Yeah. I'm over that. I'm not gonna keep on making it where folks can't be out here talking about how much a man love a woman. It perplexed Solomon.
You know what? The doors of the church are not open.
Oh my God.
Go, okay? Because clearly we're not getting over. The show is off the break.
This is Erica.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me.
And Carly. What did I say? I eat. Carly. Okay.
Let's put it in the comments.
Just a couple of alphabets wrong. Okay.
Hey, that's two totally different pieces.
He didn't get him to
But
go.
we ain't saying Wingstop. He ain't stop at Hooters.
No, he don't got to.
He ain't stop at
he don't, because the Lou Williams wing ain't at Wingstop.
Right.
Could have got it ain't at Hooters.
What Carly Sade woman?
Well,
Let me get a little closer.
Woman?
Hold on, Tim.
Oh, no, hold on.
You fine.
No.
You hear me?
No.
Most beautiful thing.
On God's
On
green.
God's green.
Come in the room.
Listen,
My goodness.
Well, bless his name today.
Donnie McClurkin say, I thought I knew you on yesterday.
Hey!
But I got
Yes, the wings were at a strip club. But if he wanted a specific wing from a specific location, and he has a wing named after, I thought the man should be able to get some wings.
Yeah, with somebody else.
Oh,
Break it in.
okay.
I apologize.
all right. Welcome.
I want to welcome you to what is probably the last episode of Sticks and Stones. This man gave black babies to a racist white woman that thinks she's not Aryan.
in America, we all supposed to be the body of Christ, but we have black churches and white churches. And we all have white preachers that you can clearly see the issue here, but they'll still justify it from their pulpit and say it's the word of God.
The fact that someone can get in the pulpit and make you think, hey Bishop, I know you about to get me. Let me get my comment out.
My problem, Faye. You went and bought BlackBerry shares, which means you knew that they were pushing up everything else. And you ain't tell me nothing. BlackBerry? Tim, when was the last time you saw anybody with a BlackBerry phone?
Now, the stance of this show has always been, when you right, you right. But when you wrong, you wrong. Well, family.
People.
Yeah, see, this is one of those special days. This is one of those interesting days where we get to come on live and we get to celebrate a joyous occasion with everyone. But before we get into all of that, first thing I want to do is I just want to take a moment and stop. And I want to welcome a friend to this show.
Right. You gotta introduce him like you introduce the pastor. That's how the guest pastor sit when he comes to the church. Right before he speak. Introduce him like you gotta introduce the preacher.
Yeah, I gotta have my Bible like I'm still looking at notes, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yes.
He is a friend to this house. He is not a guest. None other than the one, the only Losco, everybody. Everybody give it up for Losco in the house.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless
Yeah,
you.
man. Yeah, man. And there's a really special reason why Losco is on today's show.
Talk about it.
The reason why Losco is on today's show is because we got something coming up this weekend, Tim. I don't know if you heard. It's a holiday coming up this weekend.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday coming up this weekend, Tim.
No, Tim is hurt.
And you know what that holiday is, Tim? That we got coming up this weekend? This weekend, on Monday, it is National Single Awareness Day. It is National Singles Awareness Day coming up this weekend, everybody. This weekend is all about the singles out there, man. We want to show love to you guys. We want to show love to all the single people out there. this day is for you. This is awareness for you, man. This show is dedicated to you.
All the single people. All the single people. Yeah, this is for y'all. You know, most times, you know, this is the time where we get neglected the most. You know what I mean? You know, we get looked at like the just throwaways and the castaways and the, you know, like we got lupus or some kind of illness.
Leprosy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like we got leprosy. You know, away with you. All right, well, as you can see, we shorthanded, you know, all of the people that's booed up, you know, they left us hanging. But you know, you in good hands tonight. You know, we gonna handle it, and we gonna handle this night with care.
Oh yeah, y'all in great hands tonight. Y'all in great hands tonight, and we're gonna get on them people here in a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and just set the vibe right now. Before we get on forward, we gotta do introductions. There are no ladies here tonight, so Tim, please do the honors.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Chips Ahoy, Almond Joy, Checkerboy Floyd. Right here. Hope everybody's doing fine. Hope everybody's good. You know, I had to give the little the midnight special Valentine's edition of the intro. You know, I know what you're thinking, and you are right. Even though this is Valentine's Day weekend, this is also Super Bowl weekend. Yeah. And my Rams are right where they need to be. You know, they handled their business. Yeah, I rock with the Rams, Lawrence. I don't know, you ain't been watching the show. I rocks with the Rams. Okay, I've forgiven like the Lord told me to do. I've forgiven them. You know, they cut that $1 billion check. Hey, what more can we ask for? What more? Come on now. What more can you ask for? People stopped showing up to games. They wouldn't update the stadium. The turf still, the Marshall Faulk ran on the turf that's there right now.
Hey, I said it's one thing to forgive, but that don't mean you have to reconcile. I just can't get with them.
Well, you know what?
I'm with you, Lawrence.
Hey, I like to be with a winner. Okay, y'all enjoy everybody that y'all like at home is all I'm saying. I'm sure y'all ain't no Bengals fans. So everybody that y'all's fans, they at the house. So, you know, we done right. So shout out to them Rams. You know, shout out to all my Rams fan that's here. Tamika, I know you there. Okay, that's cool. Womp womp. We're gonna womp womp all the way to the Super Bowl. That's fine. That's just fine. Brother Elkins, I see you. Let's go Rams. Didi, I'm gonna make you a Rams fan. You probably don't even watch football, but today you a Rams fan, Didi. So come on over across the street. Come on. All right.
Tim, what you doing for the Super Bowl?
Man, I really don't even know, man. You know, all of my friends, they not rant. You know, I done talk too much trash. I think I done got kicked out of a couple people's house. So I might. I don't really know. I haven't decided yet, man. What you doing, Zo?
I mean, I'm chilling with the family, man. I mean, I'm not gonna be doing nothing crazy. I'm gonna chill with the family, watch the game, eat some food, call it a day. That's gonna be it.
I see you, Tamika.
That's gonna be it. So I ain't doing nothing special. I'm gonna watch it. I don't really care who win, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch. You know, I'm nervous just like I was last week, but you know, 2 weeks ago. But I think the Rams gonna pull it out, man. What about you, Lawrence? What you doing for the Super Bowl?
I don't know yet, man. Yeah, I don't know yet. It's gonna be one of two things. I'll be sitting here in my apartment watching the game by myself, or I won't be watching the game at all. I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
I did my intro. I'm gonna pass the mic to my brother Lawrence.
Hold on, let me get the vibe back. I had to stop the vibe because we, you know, talking about sports. Let me get the vibe back real quick. Go ahead, Lawrence. The floor is yours.
Y'all gotta let me know the protocol so I know who to call. What's the?
Ain't no, just do your thing, man.
Ain't no protocol, big dog. Yeah, the floor is yours, man. You got the floor. You do what you want with the floor. This is your intro.
I'm just supposed to say who I am.
Say who you are and what you want the people to know.
Who you are, what you do, what you're into, what you know.
Okay, well, you know what? This is beautiful. I'll just do what I usually do on my podcast.
All right.
What is going on, beautiful people? Today is Friday, February 11th, and you don't have to make it a great day because today is already great. Do you want to know why today's already great? Because y'all are in for a wonderful show here on Sticks and Stones with your boys. I am one of your hosts tonight. My name is Lawrence Scott, aka Losco, and we're gonna have fun. They was telling me about what the show's gonna be about tonight, so it's gonna be a good one.
Absolutely. And I am the one with no intro. I just have a name that is 2 letters, and that name is Zoe. And we usually move on from there, and we leave it there, and we don't ask no questions. So what we're gonna do today, everybody, is, like I said, this weekend is a very special weekend, Singles Awareness weekend. And Singles Awareness Day is on Monday, and on Singles Awareness Day is when singles all over the country feel just how single they really are. That is what happens on Monday. Singles all over the country get to feel the singleness that they loathe in and they love so much. So
you thought you were single. Look, if you think you're lonely now, wait until Monday. Just wait. You're gonna see exactly how lonely you is.
Yeah. And I want to start off by exemplifying the people that are not here. We will start with none other than Faye, who was the first to say in the group chat that she was not going to be on today. This is her last weekend, her last holiday, Valentine's Day, before being or having child. So she said, I'm definitely not on tonight. My last Valentine's Day before I had my kid. They said she out. So everybody, a round of applause for Faye. The next person that is not with us today, we are going to highlight none other than my brother, Lee Scott. His name is Lee. Really, the two of them are the same. Lee is not here today because his wife told him that he has plans for Valentine's Day weekend. So since his wife told him that he had plans, he is not here. So everybody, please, a round of applause for Lee Scott.
Yeah, the bishop. Yeah, the pastor.
Last but not least, the woman that everybody on this show loves and adores because she has the loudest personality on this floor. And that is your girl, your Grace girl, Erica. Erica is not on this show because Erica is the one person on this show that faithfully likes to engage in sexual education. And because she is involved in this education,
unsolicited, by the way, no one was asking her. We didn't ask her none of these questions. Unsolicited.
And so, since today is the weekend before National Singles Awareness Day, she is indeed engaging or looking to engage in the education that she so teaches. So, without further ado, an applause for Erica.
Engaged in the education she so teaches. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are our 3 individuals on this floor that do not celebrate Singles Awareness Day. They practice a different awareness. But for us, well, for 2 of us, we do engage in Singles Awareness Day, and that is what today is all about. We are going to talk about, indeed, single awareness. We're going to bring awareness to the singleness and why indeed that singleness exists. So without further ado, we're going to really jump right into it. And it is a topic that Faye brought up before. And just because Faye ain't here, don't mean we can't talk about it. Faye asked this question about a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago. No, about a week ago.
It was a minute ago.
Why are black men not getting married? Subtopic of that always seems to be, why are you still single? That's where that conversation always goes. Why are our black men not getting married, and why are you still single?
Well, I think those are 2 different questions and 2 different answers.
Absolutely. So first of all, let's start in a way that only Sticks and Stones can, and let's make it personal. Let's make it personal. Losco, why are you still single?
Man, there's a whole lot of reasons for that. But I will tell you this. Losco will not be single for much longer. I'm telling you that much right now. Y'all heard it here first on Sticks and Stones. Losco can't do this for much longer.
I'm coming in.
Right.
It's real out here. But no, man, it's a lot to that though. I feel like you know, I feel like one of the best gifts that God can give any of us is clarity, and not necessarily clarity on like who we're doing life with, but first and foremost, clarity of who we are and really what we should be doing with our lives. So I feel like one of the reasons why I am single is because I'm probably within the last 2 years, definitely within the last 2 years, I've become the most clear I have ever been in my life about how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. Not necessarily what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, but the contribution that I'm going to use the rest of my life to make to the world. And once that is clear, right, the person that comes alongside me in that endeavor will not just be a play partner, but a purpose partner. So yeah, man, I feel like that clarity is important. And for me, like having gained that within the last 2 years, that's why. So it's like, I say it kind of comically, but that's why I really do feel like Losco ain't gonna be single for much longer. Cause it's like, it's go time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really go time. And yeah, so I mean,
yeah, that's good, bro.
I got
that's good. That's good. I think, and I don't know if it's my turn to speak. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to cut you off.
No, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, Tim. You got the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
I think that as far as like our upbringing, or the narrative that is created when we are growing up, especially in like the church environments, most times it's you do what you do, and once you go to school, you get your education, you get a job, you get married, you have kids. It's already set in stone, the order of how stuff's supposed to go. Not necessarily disagreeing with that, but we don't deal with what you're supposed to do in those gray areas. We're not. I don't think we're vocal enough about it. We're not loud enough about it. Sometimes, we want to quote that scripture: "It's better to marry than to burn." Well, sometimes it's not better to marry. You know what I mean? Sometimes, right? You burning in lust. That ain't talking about it's better to marry than you do what you do and go to hell. But sometimes it's not best for marry, even though you burning in lust. You need to practice some self-control and get away from that situation, because you're not in that space you're not ready for the expectations and the responsibilities of marriage, or you're not in that place in your singleness where right. You're, and especially now, man, where how just stuff is, and it's just distractions everywhere that kind of can cause you to not focus on you, but maybe focus on other people, or focus on, kicking it. And I'm still young, I'm trying to do this, instead of really, just buckling down and dealing with yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror. Now you're trying to reach out and find that fulfillment from somebody else. I think that's a dangerous place. That's just my personal, that's what I see, what I notice, so yeah, that's what I say. What you say?
No, great. Before I give my 2 cents, I do want to acknowledge those responding to the question. Again, this question is for everybody. So if you in the comments or you watching and you are in this category of singleness, please comment. For the married folk, we're gonna come to y'all later. But right now we're talking about the single people.
Who is this? Your cousin Drake?
Dree said she's single because she too
Too
expensive.
expensive. Oh man.
Drink everybody. Drink everybody. Yeah, and I'm sure she was joking. But hey, Drake, me and Drake, you know, we had a nice little conversation about stuff like that a minute ago, and I'm not gonna go into all of it, but I will say that as far as reasoning goes, since I am the only other single person on this panel, I'll say it like this. Why am I still single? I'm still single in my opinion because I've been blessed to be able to see examples of successful relationships, examples of successful marriages, man and woman together for longevity. I've been able to see those examples, and because I've been able to see those examples, I am very aware and very sensitive to wanting the same thing for myself and not wanting to have to, you know, play with a safety net, if you will. A lot of people want to play with a safety net. You know, I can always leave. For me, if I get married, I'm only getting married once. Yeah. And if it don't work, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, boss, because I ain't doing it again. I mean, that's just...
let me share something that I learned though recently, bro. Like, so last year I was in a research methods seminar, and my focus or my area of research, like for my thesis, was what is the question that I'm trying to answer in that seminar was, what is the best way for the children of pastors to receive pastoral care? My thesis was that pastoral care for the children of pastors should not come from pastoring parents, right? During my research, I found some interesting statistics. One of the statistics I found was that when you compare the demographics of the children of pastors to the demographics of other Christians, not just the world, but other Christians, the children of pastors get married less and get married later.
Hey, repeat that. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
You look at marriage statistics, right? This is data found on it was a study done on somebody who was trying to discover, similarly to the question that I was answering, what is the relationship between faith formation of the children of pastors to their relationship to their pastoring parents, right? And one of the data points that they weren't looking for this, but one of the data points that came out of the research was the children of pastors get married less and later than other Christian singles. So solving for all else, right? Solving for age, solving for denomination, solving for all this other stuff. Other Christians get married earlier and more often than the children of pastors. So when you say you've been blessed to see examples of what it's like to do well, and that's what you want for yourself, and you only gonna do it once, there's more there than just saying I only want to do it once. There's actually something inherent in the experience of people whose lives are on a pedestal and in front of people that says I can't afford to do it more than once. And I think there's something there, bro, because it's like, because when we talk about why we like, because that, remember what I said, there's plenty of reasons why I'm still single. That's actually one of them. Because it's like, it's embedded in our entire upbringing and existence. Like, your lives are too public to fail in this area. You know, some people can operate with that safety net. They say, well, if this doesn't work out, hey, and there's a lot of people who do that.
But I think it's
that's real. Wow, bro, that's some heavy stuff, man. I ain't never really thought about that. Nor have I ever heard that before.
There's a lot there. I mean, because I've witnessed couples that are, you know, children of pastors get married soon or early.
Yeah.
And Rocky dropped it. She said sometimes it can be you get married wrong due to pressure. You know what I mean? So now y'all done got together. So you feel pressured to get married, and then that relationship it crumbles under pressure. And sometimes you might have children out of it, and then end up divorced. Because you're trying to, because of that public life. That public. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I do want to only marry once. You know what I mean? I am not interested.
Wait, hold on.
What happened?
Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing?
Which one?
I'm seeing everything. What'd you see?
Troy Washington.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let me pop it. I was gonna mention it because we do have. Troy said he's single because he ain't no good, and at least he can tell the women up front. And then he came back, and he said, "Just being honest," and I think that's the other reason, Alfonso, because I was laughing. Just to be honest, I say what I think. Hey, that's real because everybody can't handle that.
That's that looking in the mirror type thing. You know what I mean? So so the question is, are you deciding to stay no good? Are you interested in, getting better? But you gotta.
Well, but I think he was being kind of facetious with the quote unquote no good part.
Yeah.
I think part of that is when the response,
you define that.
Right. Part of that is I'm going off of what he said after, which was I say what I think. And a lot of times saying what you think could come off as insensitive because you're not really lightening that blow for whoever you're saying it to. You're speaking off the top, and everybody ain't about that. Everybody ain't, a lot of people see that as being no good. They see that as being insensitive or being too harsh or not being good for a relationship. I mean, that's reality. Look, I can relate because I've had a lot of people. I tell people all the time, I'm the type of person where I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna let you know up front what it is. Ain't gonna be no gray area with me. Like, you gonna know. And I've been in relationships where it's been like, yo, like, I need you to sugarcoat that a little bit. I need you to soften that blow a little bit, because even though what you're saying might be true, the way you saying it is just
how you make me feel.
Yeah, it's too raw. Like, I ain't with all that. So I've heard that before. And I want to say recognize Didi as well. Because Didi answered the question again, y'all. The question is, why are you still single? This question is for everybody, right? Didi said, I'm single because I want to make sure I'm a good wife to my sufficient other, and I want to have a happy marriage, and I want my sufficient other to have a hunger and thirst for God like I do, and to have a deeper relationship with him as well. And I will say this to every man out there.
Hold on. She don't want a significant other.
She want a sufficient one.
Just sufficient. We don't gotta be significant. Just
that'll suffice.
Be sufficient.
Hey, let me say this. Fellas, if you out there and if Didi's saying you gotta have a hunger and thirst like she do, you better work on your two-step, Doc.
I'm telling you, brother.
She got her two-step code. She will two-step you up out the pew. You better work on it. She ain't playing.
Not at all. No.
And then we have Christian. Christian said, I'm not sure I'm ready to take that plunge into marriage just yet. It's beautiful when done right, but still deep. So I'm single. That is real.
Hey, you know what? I thought about reading her thing. And in my mind is going back to that study I read about PKs. Another thing about PKs is PKs often have a good lens into publicly successful relationships that are privately failing. And they do not want that for themselves. Like, where you have to perform when it's not actually what the relationship is. It's like, I don't want a relationship that's just a performance for the public. Like, I actually want to like my spouse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want somebody that just looks good on a flyer. I don't want somebody that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually want a good relationship, not one that looks good on paper.
Right.
That's a good point too. That's a good point too. And I think it's unfortunate that that's the reality for a lot of people, is that we put on these masks and these charades because we want everybody else to look at us a certain way.
Right.
Like we don't have the level of maturity to be honest with ourselves, to see ourselves the way we need to. Because we just want other people to look at us and say, oh, look at that. That's cute.
Right.
That's cute. You know.
And this will do it to you. These apps, this phone, that Instagram, it'll do it to you.
It starts to shape reality in your mind. It starts to shape
what's fake.
Yeah.
And that's real. So we're gonna. So with that being said, then, because Lawrence, you already kind of going there. Let's go to our next topic that kind of deals with singleness. The question that I asked earlier: why are black men not getting married? I have my take on it. I want to hear from you guys first, because my take. Well, I'll just go. My take comes from a book that I read a while ago. Lawrence, I've talked to you about this book so many times. It's this book by Hassani Pettiford entitled "Why We Hate Black Women," and Hassani Pettiford is a black on black. It's heavy. The title is heavy, but the book is different. So just work with me. Hassani Pettiford is a black on black love specialist, and this book that he wrote, you read it cover to cover, like there's a lot of insight in there that makes you really think, like, okay. But in a nutshell, one of the things that he says is the reason why we have this lack when it comes to black relationships is because of the lack that we've gained in society throughout the years. And you think of how the black male and the black woman have had to evolve throughout the years, and how that evolution caused by society, caused by history, has caused us to drive ourselves further apart from each other than really being interdependent and being able to rely on each other. We've grown into a society where we teach our black children the value of independence and the value of being able to do things on your own, for yourself, by yourself, and not having to rely on anybody for anything. Not only that, but over 70% of black households are ran by a single parent, either a single mom or a single dad.
Yep.
So not only am I being taught the essence of independence, but I'm being taught the essence of independence from a single parent. So I'm watching this single parent do all of these things as my example. This single parent is teaching me not to rely on anyone because they don't want me to feel whatever pain they may have felt. So when I become an adult, in my mantra, in my code, there is no space for someone else, because I've been taught my entire life how to make it and survive and do things for my own. So now what role can someone else play in that life? What space does someone else have? Right now, there's none. So now I have to learn on the fly how to fit someone else into that. And that could be a hard thing to do.
Yeah, most definitely. Cooperating with others when it comes to your personal life and how your life is going to go is a difficult thing to do. I'll say this, man, and I'm just going to be 100% honest. I remember the day, maybe not the date or the time or whatever, but I remember the time. I remember when I was at a wedding, and y'all know Daniel and Bernea's wedding. I was, I feel like that was my freshman year of college, and I was back home, and I went to their wedding, and I sat and I listened to them vows. Listen, them vows ain't no joke, man. And I thought to myself, like, oh my God, his life is over. You know what I'm saying? Like, this brother's life. I was, I'm 19 years old. I think I was 9. I was 19 years old, man. I'm like, oh my God, marriage is it's a really big deal, man. And I feel like people play too much with it. It's like you playing around with an atomic bomb or a C4. Like, why do people play with those vows? Why do people play with marriage? You down in the aisle, that's that to death do us part. And for life you're committed to a person. That's a very big step, coming from I'm not an only child, but I'm the youngest child. I had 2 older sisters. I kind of was maybe I do my own thing type of person. You know what I mean? I've spent a lot of time by myself. You know, I went away to college by myself. I do, you know, I naturally developed this independent thing. So the idea of becoming dependent at that time was very, you know, foreign and like, you know, how in the world do you do something like that? You know what I mean? But you know, it could be a lot of reasons why black men choose not to marry. That was a great point that you brought up, Zoe. We have we have allowed society to draw that line between our, you know, our women, not just, you know, not just in a relationship wise, but even platonic, how we deal in the professional world, how we deal in social settings. There's a line that's been drawn between us and our black women, you know, to where they don't necessarily feel maybe comfortable. They might feel like they're threatened by us. You know, they might feel like we're a physical threat to them, or we don't want the best for them or whatever. That line has been drawn. But also, why men may not get married is because the financial gap. You know, it's a lot of, it's expensive out here, y'all.
Hey, look.
It's expensive out here.
Black women are the highest educated socioeconomic group in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Black men
are fastly growing toward the highest earning.
Black men, we ain't there.
Yeah,
we ain't there.
But this
and
goes
then what percentage of us is in jail right now?
That's a great question.
That's also kind of where I'm going, Tim. It's like this brings me to something that I think is really important to talk about when we try to answer this question. Okay. The first thing is this: we live in a hyper digital and self-absorbed, egotistical, and honestly narcissistic culture that creates these micro worlds and microcosms that all point back to self and then project into the digital space via social media and Instagram a world that wants to point back to us. So anything that doesn't make us feel good, make us happy, or satisfies our particular preferences, we don't do. So it's like we have to, everything that a person who's going to come into my life has, like, or rather a person who comes into my life has to serve every particular purpose or preference that I have. And it's not a dual relationship. It doesn't go two ways. That's part of it. But the other part of that same culture is that it fetishizes people. Mm-hmm. Black men are fetishized. Black women are fetishized. When we think about black women, right, which is why a lot of people are doing these things to their bodies, trying to make them look a certain way, and it's an unrealistic expectation of who a person's supposed to be. And this is also the same thing for black men, whether or not we want to admit that, because while the fetishizing of black men might not be our build, as it might not be as physical as it might be for black women, it is the image of the successful black man who drives a particular type of car, who can spoil you and give you a certain type of lifestyle. And that's just not realistic. There will be some people who can do that, right? They can do that.
That's such a small percentage.
It's a small percentage. And the world does not, or at least when we think about the world here in the West, particularly here in America, this world does not offer that kind of opportunity to our black men to even be that, right? And we have these shows and these movies that sell people these pipe dreams about what a black man should be to them. So the other part to this, though, Alfonso, which is why I'm a little baffled to the question a little bit, is because I think black men are getting married. They just ain't marrying black women, and you don't see them. Right? We see, and we put on these different platforms, and we highlight those who don't get married, or the ones who might not be of the highest moral standing or sexual integrity. Right? Those are the ones that we put on blast. But it's like, no, black men are getting married. Right? Like two of my boys, actually three of my closest friends from college, are all married to beautiful and wonderful black women, right? Like, black men are getting married, you just don't see them,
Mhm.
But the ones that you do see, right? They become the fetish. You know what I'm saying? They become, well, if I don't have a black man like that, I don't want one. Which is why we're seeing some of our women, right? Black women marrying outside of black men. Hey, you know, get it how you live. But I'm saying, like, black men are getting married, but they've become a fetish in this culture. And we have to break down that stereotype of what a black man is supposed to be, not just to women, but specifically, if we're really being real, what they're actually supposed to be to black women. And when we can break down that stereotype, maybe more black men would feel more confident to marry and to put themselves in a vulnerable position to say, hey, listen, this is who I am. This is what I got right now. It may not always be like that, but hey, let's build something together. People don't want to do that no more. They don't want to build nothing no more with somebody. They want to go do their own thing for a while, make their own money, and then get somebody that wants to match that lifestyle. It's like, yo, whatever happened to building something together? Whatever happened to partnering with somebody, right? Like I heard Rick Warren say this one time, and he was doing a teaching on marriage, and he said he feels sorry for young Christians in today's day and age. And this is what he said, and it completely wrecked me, right? And I may have shared this with y'all before. Rick Warren said Christians make marriage way too complicated. If you meet somebody who is in love with Jesus, who has a relationship with God, right? So they have to have a relationship with God and be in love with Jesus. That's one, right? The second criteria is you have to be sexually attracted to them, right? And then the third thing.
Oh, say that again, Lawrence.
These are the three criteria that Rick Warren gave in this seminar.
Right. I heard the first one. The second one is the one.
Right. I'm saying the first one is be in a relationship with God and be in love with Jesus.
Yeah, we heard that.
One is be sexually attracted to one another.
This ain't Bob the Builder.
This ain't Bob the Builder.
Be sexually attracted to one another, and then 3, have purpose that's parallel. Right. So he talks about this concept of y'all don't have to do the same thing to get married, but your purpose should speak to one another. You should be heading in a similar direction. Right. And if you can accomplish those 3 things, get married. He said, this is what he said. He said, get married and figure the rest out. Surround yourself with married couples in Christian community, and y'all should help one another. They should counsel you, right? There's safety in the multitude of good, godly counsel. So he says, get married and surround yourself with community to figure the rest out. But we get a little bit more specific to this demographic. We talk about black men. This is really hard to do. Why? Because one, what you said, Alfonso, this is not always seen. So where are you going to find that community? 2, there's this hyper stereotypical and fetish sizing of black men where we have unrealistic expectations of who they're supposed to be to you and the type of lifestyle they're supposed to give you. And then 3, the ones who could potentially do that, they might not look a certain way or whatever, and they don't want to put themselves out there because now you got to access. So I think about somebody like myself. I don't want people to know who I am, what I got, and where I've been, and what I've done. So it's like, I don't want you to be here for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for instance, Tim, the conversation we were having before this thing, right? And you were like, hey, should we break that, right? And I'm like, no, I don't want people to know.
Yeah.
Because it's like the more you know about who I am, what I do, and what I have, the more I got to question why you really here.
Yeah.
So okay. I want to stay right there for a second.
Yeah.
Because what you just said and the response we got from Drake is literally what's fueling this whole conversation. Lawrence, you talked about what happened to building, right? What happened to building together, right? Drake said, no, sir, this is not Bob the Builder. Go ahead. Oh, I got it. She said, no, sir, this is not Bob the Builder. So, in essence, this is kind of where we're getting at. Again, Lawrence, like you said, black women are becoming the highest earning socioeconomic group in the country. So if I'm the highest educated and I'm the highest earning, why in the world am I trying to wait on you or build anything with you? If you can't match me, you can't get with me. That's what they saying, not me. I ain't said, they saying. That's what Drake just said. So that's where we at right now. So we talk about build.
It's
what
not,
you say?
And I think that is exactly, that's, the world is a number on us. The world has done a number on us. Now, any perspective I offer is going to come from a Christian worldview. That is how I am, right? This is my belief system. This is how I see the world, and this is how I want to live in the world. This is the type of thing that I want to project, right? And I think popular culture, which is not necessarily Christian culture, or rather, because some Christian culture is mimicking and imitating popular culture, but rather what Christian culture should be versus what popular culture is are two very different things.
Popular culture said it should be.
Right. Yeah. So it's like you shouldn't. So it's like this is not Bob the Builder, like, you know, and I understand that, right? It's like, I'm not saying that you should get somebody and try to build a man. That ain't what I'm saying. But we're asking the question, why are black men not getting married? So I'm speaking from a man's perspective. From the man's perspective, right? Like men are I mean, I look at myself. I'm building something. I'm after something. I got something I'm driving toward. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's not I want you to build me, but it's like we should be building something together. You think about the concept of empire. You think about the concept of true kingdom living. It's not about you got yours, I got mine. It's about, hey, let's get something together. Let's go after it. That's why what Rick Warren said was so important. You have to have purpose that's parallel, not to have your purpose, my purpose, separate. We make our own money's got our own stuff. No. We building something that at the end of our lives is something that we can call legacy that lasts well beyond us. People don't want to do that no more because it's not popular culture. But this is what it means for two to become one. But people don't want to do that no more.
I got an analogy. I got a good analogy. Okay. All right. And my father was a construction worker. Okay. Sometimes he did heating and cooling. Sometimes he'd be paired. If you know anything about construction, you know that there are certain things that have to be done before what is called the heating and cooling guy. The tenant comes in, right? The carpenter has to cut the holes, and then the plumber has to come and do something. You know, certain things, the masonry, that part has to be done, right?
Yep.
If the carpenter doesn't do his job before dad comes in, then that limits dad from him being able to do his job. Yeah. I don't think the problem is getting together and building. I think that the problem is that the builder is not being built before they come together and build together. The problem is not building a marriage. We have an issue with building men. We have an issue with building black men. And I saw it most in the school system, in education. And when I taught high school kids, these men are not being built. Like how? I think if we build men, then men will marry. But we're not building men.
So
these are still, they hang on to the boy thing for a long time. We're not building men. So then that's Tamika talking about, well, now I got to build this guy, and then by the time you do that, it's 20 years later and all this other stuff. Well, this man has been through all this trauma and all this other stuff. He needs time to be built. He needs time to look in that mirror and say, this is that, this is this. Am I in the space to bring somebody in to my life? Am I in that space? And you got to be honest as a man. So and society, the men are not being, there are certain men that are not being built. So then the men that are building already or whatever, then sometimes the women that are chasing after them ain't built themselves. They broken down. So now we can't build nothing together because we got two incompetent construction workers. That building gonna fall apart. Ain't no way that this electrician is gonna be able to put it, or this carpenter is gonna be able to work well with this tenor or with this heating and cooling guy, because you carpenter supposed to know that hole got to be cut. So I can't cut the hole for you because I'm not the carpenter. I'm just the heating and cooling guy.
Right.
I'm not the plumber. I'm not the electric. I didn't come here to be the electrician.
Right.
I am certified in heating and cooling.
And Tim, you brought up a great point, because we asked the question, why are, we can even just say not just black men, but why are we having this thing where people are waiting longer and longer to get married? Because people don't know what job they were created to do. You got people trying to be a carpenter when they were created to be heating and cooling. You don't know who you are. But when you meet somebody that you think you comparable with, you find out that you got conflicts because y'all ain't compatible. Why aren't you compatible? Because y'all ain't on the same plane. Y'all ain't building the same thing. You came thinking you building a car. We over here trying to build a house.
Yeah.
You don't know who you are.
Right.
So and then watch this, right? When I say build together, you want to know the sad part? The sad part is when you say that, the automatic thing that you hear is, I gotta build a man.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we think about our men. We think we gotta build them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we ain't talking about that. We're talking about building with, right? I saw Rocky, she said, I'm not building a man, but I will build with one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all, but people don't understand the principle of partnership. It's like you really just want to go get your own and have somebody that you can cuddle and lay with. That's really what you want. You don't really, you really don't want a part. You don't really want a purpose partner.
No. Yeah, and sometimes we look to have our fulfillment from that person or from that individual that we call ourselves partnering with, but that's not where 2.5 people don't make a whole person.
Nah, that ain't what I'm laughing at. That ain't what I'm laughing at. I'm laughing at
Mom.
I'm laughing at Drake.
Okay. Yeah, we are looking to seek our fulfillment, but okay, let's go to Bible. Let's pull out your Bible, saints. All right, pull out your Bibles. The Bible
got
says
8 minutes, Tim.
2 is better than 1. Why? Because there's greater reward for them. There's more reward for their labor. If we are not laboring, then there's no reward. That's little. Look, you put in little, you get out little. And if the 2 are not laboring, how about this? Already, because see, the principle is that person at one point was laboring by themselves. But if that one person is not laboring, and then let me define laboring, working on themselves, I'll just bring it up to date, working on themselves, understanding their purpose, walking in, what they know they're supposed to be doing. If that one is not doing that, and then you bring somebody else, the reward is going to be limited because we both ain't working. 2 is better than 1 because there's greater reward for their labor. And that's what we're looking for. I want reward in my labor.
And Tim, watch this, right? We talking Bible. The Bible says not to yoke a donkey with an ox.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
right. Now look how big that donkey is, that big that ox is, and small that donkey is.
Right. Not even just size, right?
Yeah.
Talking capacity, right? But there's a different capacity of the ox and the donkey.
Yep.
There's a different competence of the ox and the donkey. But here's the biggest thing. There's a difference of character between the ox and the donkey. The ox is obedient. The donkey is stubborn. You can tell and this is huge, right? This goes well beyond like black men. This is huge, right? This is like if the master calls the ox forward, the ox will want to go, but the donkey won't.
Stubborn.
So if God tells you to move, but you yoked up to a donkey, you're going to be stuck trying to pull the donkey along to where God wants you to go. Yeah. So it's like, I can't be obedient. This is huge. This is why it's important to understand purpose. Because if God is calling you to do something specific in the earth, and the person that you're yoked up with ain't moving in parallel purpose, then they are not going to want to move when God tells you to move. So this is what it means to have a purpose partner. This is what it means to have somebody to build with. Because if God says move, baby, we gotta go. I don't care what we got going on. I don't care how many roots we done laid wherever. If God say pick up and move to China, we gotta pick up and move to China. We ain't got no time to be wasting on whether or not you want to figure it out. I'm not trying to yoke myself up to no donkeys. I need my ox.
Yeah.
And we live in a culture that coddles the character of the donkey. It's okay for you not to do something that's inconvenient. It's okay for you to just do anything that you feel like doing. It's not Christian, right? It's a moral therapeutic deism. It's what makes me feel good, and I attach that to what I call God. That's what we call moral therapeutic deism. It's not Christian.
Okay, let me write this down. Moral therapeutic deism. Okay. Go ahead, keep on teaching your lesson.
And that's the problem that we have. We have people yoking themselves up with people that ain't pursuing purpose. Yeah. That's why you got so many divorces, because people don't know who they are. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing, and they yoke themselves up with other people who don't know who they are and what they're supposed to be doing. And by the time you figure it out, it's too late.
Yep. And they mama yoked themselves up with somebody that didn't know who they was. And they daddy's daddy did it, and they daddy's daddy did it, and they daddy's mama's dad, all, and it's all in. See, this is why the church is so important.
Yes.
Because at some point, somebody's got to see something different. We got to be, and I was talking to my pastor about this because he's been dealing with this and is going to continue to deal with this in Bible class. If you have not been tuning in, you should be. At some point, the tide has got to be turned. This ship has got to be corrected. At some point, and it can't be that's all I know, because that's what my mama did. And it can't be, well, my daddy did this to me, and that's all I know. The church has to be the visible representation of how I should be. At some point, because my father's father was not in his life. Now that my grandmother married another man who came along later, but that was not his father.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about all his brothers is all of them was set on an off track. Now, maybe not all of them. My Uncle Ricky he didn't go to jail or whatever, but the rest of them, it was, but they was doing what they knew based off of the environment they was in. My father was doing what he knew based on the environment that he was in. But at some point, God shook him and got his attention. Now I'm able to make the right decision. Now I'm able to adjust. This is important, church. This is important.
Yeah.
This is important. How are people going to know that there is a better way? In every facet of life.
Right.
In every single last one. How do I become a better parent? How am I going to know to be a better parent to my child? How am I going to know that I have to look in myself in the mirror in my single years? How am I going to know that, hey, I'm really screwing this thing up in my marriage? How am I going to know that? Where is the example? Where's the city on the hill?
Tim, the challenge that we have is that we have to create a culture, and it's counterculture. It's extremely countercultural now, but we have to create a culture within our churches that get rid of the very thing that the world currently on every social platform we have is telling everyone to lean into, and that's pride. We have to rid ourselves of it to open ourselves up to that sort of constructive criticism that can allow us to grow to where we're supposed to be, right? Like the imagery that we have of the dwelling place of God is the temple. As we live in this new covenant, what happened to the temple? The temple shifted from a building to a being, where we are now the temple, right? Now watch this. In the Old Testament, they had people who were charged to care for the temple. Exactly. There was not one person who was in charge of the temple, but there were multiple people who were in charge of the temple. Now, now the temple is not a building, we are the temple. Mm-hmm. And just like it was in the Old Testament, so should it be in the New. That there should not be one person who's in charge of the temple, including yourself. Meaning, because you are the temple, you can't manage you by yourself.
Yeah.
You need community. You need people to help you manage you. You need somebody to tell you when you out of line with your spouse. You need somebody to tell you when you need to sit down and stop talking to all these women. You need somebody who can help you manage you. But we live in a world that wants to put your pride and to put the way you feel on a pedestal, and we do not open ourselves up to that sort of criticism. We have become so self-absorbed. We have become so narcissistic that it's hard now, so that churches can't even confront you on anything anymore. Your community can't even confront you on anything anymore. The Bible says that if any man be caught in a fault, what should this community do? You who are spiritual, you who are righteous, restore such a one. And if they will not listen to you, go to the elders and have them to do it. If they can't do it, call for the priests. But we don't have a culture that allows us to do that, because we're so worried about how somebody's going to respond, because we're so absorbed with ourselves. We need to rid ourselves of that pride. But here's the hard part though, Tim. It's hard for the pews to rid themselves of pride when the pulpit is full of it.
My God. Oh, we going somewhere. This past the edge, we going somewhere now. We just took a left.
Like, well, and this is why, y'all. This is why, like, when we ask, and of course, if you're talking to me, it's always going to lead to this, because it's like, why are we seeing marriages the way we're seeing them now in our culture? It's not physical, it's not temporal, it's eternal and it's spiritual. Why are we seeing people live the kinds of lives that they're living? Not fulfilled, not full of purpose. It's not financial, it's not economic, it's not suppression, it's not oppression, it's spiritual. We have to have the spiritual strength. Like, come on, if we're Christian, right? Come on, if we're Christian, let's just be real. If we're Christian and we believe the Bible is true, then we should believe that the Bible is true. And the Bible tells us that we have the same power and the same authority that lived in Christ. The same power that got Jesus up out of a borrowed grave after 3 days is the same power that lives on the inside of us. And if it lives on the inside of us, it should give us enough wisdom. It should give us enough discernment to not be yoked up with donkeys. It should give us enough wisdom. It should give us enough discernment to live lives where we can actually build something of value, to where we could look at a spouse and say, baby, you ain't got to work a day in your life. Right. But we don't pursue purpose, and we don't pursue things the way that the Bible instructs us to do it. And that's why, because our spiritual lives aren't in order, the rest of our lives won't be. So no wonder marriages are the way they are. No wonder people aren't getting married. No wonder we got so much pride. No wonder we can't rid ourselves of the sickness of narcissism within our churches. Because we ain't Christian no more.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Losco.
You got the cash out, brother. What is it? Losco speaks. All right, now listen. I'm joking, but that was. We can end it right here, to be honest, because that was real. That was real. That was real, and you blessed me, man. I appreciate that. My goodness.
Well, hey, look, it is 8:03, so I mean, we can acquiesce to that request, Tim.
Amen.
And just drop it. Shoot. I ain't even get to my list for singles activities on Valentine's Day, but it's okay.
You can drop a couple of them in your final.
Nah, we don't even need. We don't even need to get to it, Doc. We good. We don't even need to get to it. We all right. We all right. See, Lawrence is doing exactly what them guest preachers be doing. They come in, they step on your pews, they tear your church up, and then they go back and they sit down and they get on their phone.
They cross
their look at the comments.
And they wait for the armor bearer to take them back to the hotel.
Yeah, so hey, look, that's it, man. We appreciate you guys coming out, checking us out. We appreciate you guys supporting us as always. Be sure, if you want to catch all this content, everything that we do, Sticks and Stones is on YouTube. Sticks and Stones YouTube channel is right there for you. You can also catch us on the gram, SNS Official, with not one but 2 underscores, because there's a lot of SNS officials out there, I guess. Yeah. But SNS Official. Yeah,
We
man, we
are
appreciate.
asking, where do we send the topics and your ideas and all that? Shoot that to the gram, guys. That's where
Please,
we gonna see them all.
everything goes to the gram. You send it to the gram, we gonna see it. We'll respond to it. All of that. If you got anything, question, send it to the gram. Ooh, also, the next thing I want to say, because Brother Elkins hit us up twice. SNS gear. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah.
So be looking. Be on the lookout. SNS gear. It's coming. And we're gonna do what we can to just thank y'all, man, for watching us and supporting us. We've been doing this thing for a minute, and y'all still have to come and check us out. So we appreciate that, man. Without any further ado, man, everybody, final words. Lawrence, you the guest, but not the guest, but you the guest preacher. What's your final word, Doc?
Man, we had a great show tonight. I appreciate it. I guess my encouragement, man, is like, and I really truly like, I've been sensing this not since 2021, but I've been sensing this since 2020. I've been sensing that the year 2022 is going to be very, very special, not just for me, right? Because it is going to be special for me, but I've been sensing that it's going to be truly special for the body of Christ in a crazy way. So I say that to say this: if you find yourself single on Monday, you're in that space where you might be trying to figure yourself out, man. Like, this is really the time to really lean into who God created you to be, because I'm telling you, once you discover who you are, the people that you're supposed to do life with are going to start surrounding themselves, are going to start surrounding you with themselves. So my final word is: know who you are and have the courage to be who you are, regardless of if where you came from wants you to be that way or not.
Go ahead, Tim.
That was good. Hey, turn the music down a little bit, so just a little bit. Yeah, I piggyback on that, man. Michael Jackson had a song. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and that's very tough. And I'm gonna quote my pastor: "We need the Holy Ghost."
Yes.
Because you're not gonna change your way in and of yourself. You need something outside yourself. And we need each other. We need community. Yeah, we need it.
Hey, Fonzo, turn the music down.
Yeah, turn the music down, son. It's a little loud, but yeah, we need community, and a lot of times we feel like what we're supposed to do is do for others and just spin those wheels without looking at yourself. You're a better you for other people if you deal with you.
Yeah.
So deal with you, man. That's what 2022 is looking like for me. I'm telling myself the truth, and I'm looking at this mirror and I'm dealing with some stuff. So I invite you guys to do the same. Yeah.
My final words as we enter Single Awareness Day. According to statistics by a website that I've never seen before, but it's .gov, so you know it's official. According to this website, .gov, 40% of relationships end on or around Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So for all the single people out there that are wondering, why can't I go on social media and post and do all the cool looking things that all these people in relationships are doing? Just think to yourself, hey, might not even last. Maybe that'll make you feel better at night. Appreciate everybody, man. We love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, hold on, real quick. Since I'm here tonight, gotta throw this out there. Listen, y'all. We talked about having your spiritual life in check. Every morning, Monday through Friday, you need to go and download my podcast. It's called The Daily Devo with Losco. Okay, The Daily Devo with Losco. This podcast is meant to help you with your devotional life. It is not preachy. It is not It's not traditional, but what it is it's helping you take deep dives into particular issues week after week that help you discover, develop, and deploy your unique greatness so that you can change the world. Because God's given you something. God has given you something specific that you're supposed to contribute to the world, and your purpose partner is going to come to that. Like, watch this. The oil of God flows on the authentic self. God's going to bless who he created you to be, not the you that everybody else wants you to be. And the Daily Devo is going to help you discover that. It's going to help you deploy. It's going to help you develop that. And it's going to help you deploy it into the world to make it a better place. So please go check out the Daily Devo with Losco. It's my podcast every morning, Monday through Friday. I know it's going to bless y'all. And if you listen to it, drop me a review. Hit us up on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, again, we appreciate you guys. Sticks and stones may break your bones. These words may help you.
These words may help you. Peace.